I believe we are live. Yes, we are.
Ta-da! All right.
What's up,
Hello.
gamers? No.
Whoa.
Hello, and welcome to Changeling the Lost. I'm Milo, and I am going to be the storyteller this evening. Who are you playing?
Hey, we'll be playing Zigzag, our local tech gremlin who now has a motley.
Avery, who are you playing?
Hi, everybody. I'm playing Rufus. Yeah. Okay.
And 3LC, who are you playing?
Hey, everybody. I'm 3LC, and I am playing Sim, the fire elemental artist.
As I stated, we are playing a modified version of Changeling the Lost, and by modified, I do mean heavily modified. So if you're familiar with the system and you see something that seems wrong, no, it's not. I made it up, and I will not be taking criticisms at this time. A little bit of a disclaimer. This is an 18-plus stream, so if you're not 18, then you're 12. Please see yourself out. This is not for you. Anyways, we also don't offer advice on this channel. Please do not replicate the things these characters do, and at times, please just don't say any of the stuff that they do. It's weird, and you'll creep your friends out. Anyways, also, this game has some moments in it that are also very emotionally taxing, so if you see something that is upsetting to you, please take care of your mental health first. Take a break, come back to it, fast forward later, whatever you need to do, and we will see you later, if that happens to be the case. And what happened last time is our group of adventurers, well, it's not really what they are, but our changeling went into the hedge. And they essentially got the good map. They rolled correctly on the map that was acquired at the Goblin Market, the Every Which Way, which showed them a relatively safe path through the hedge. They went first through the Bone Garden, which was the gate that Meg showed them, where they found a possible token in the eye socket of one of the skulls in the Bone Garden. They went around to the Winter Pond, where they were able to hide their trail. And then from there, they ended up at... I think I can. I've forgotten the next location.
Oh, we hit the
Pond?
we hit the frozen pond.
Winter Pond.
The winter pond, then the butterfly field.
Thank you, the butterfly field, where they found another possible token.
Mm-hmm.
I totally spaced on the name of the thing because I have a different notebook. It's very pretty, but it's not the same one I had the other day. And now they are currently at the art museum, where they have paid the fee, and they are now about to... Well, they've walked in. They're looking at the very pretentious sculpture of a moon or a solar system. Who knows? And they were greeted by a voice that fluctuated between what would be considered feminine and masculine, who asked if they would care for a tour. To which Zigzag's reply was, "What's the price?" And that is where we are picking back up. So, Zigzag, you've asked what the price is. And you hear that same voice say, "The price is free for the tour. If you would care to not get lost."
We did pay the entry fee, so if the tour is free, then yeah, a tour would be good. Right, guys?
Inconveniences me when people get stuck here, you understand?
I see. So are we to assume that the tour is a expedient and safe path through?
Of course. And you see this person come around the corner. Person is really not the right word for the voice connected to who you've
Sure.
been speaking.
Mhm.
They are clockwork and porcelain.
Mhm.
They have a kind of an effeminate looking face, and then they have wires and clockwork parts that make up a body that is doll-like, down to legs which are on wheels. Their feet are wheels, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But another interesting thing about them is you see through the clockwork where they kind of split into, I say they, because you see a second set of arms behind them. And you can see that there is something at the back that looks like it could be another mask, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Another painted face. As they kind of turn to the side, you see where
Mm-hmm.
the two faces separate, with the clockwork being in between them. And you can kind of see that they almost they're the same body, but they're clearly different.
Well, Faye would be like, Mom, Dad?
Who are you? How are we related? They are a mannequin, yes, in fact.
Interesting.
So we go on the tour and then you lead us back out the same way we came, or
Do we go out
through.
a different
No, you-
entrance?
Go through, yes. There's a back entrance that you're going to exit. Well, it's not an entrance, it's an exit. I really don't approve of people trying to enter through that way, as it is clearly labeled on the outside. Not the inside, however. It's a little bit more confusing on the inside.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
God,
I trust we'll see some interesting pieces as we move through.
it depends on your definition of interesting, I suppose.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I'm sure it'll be okay.
Sim will
Shall we?
back to them and just go stay close and keep an eye on each other. In a comfortable whisper, not like
A comfortable whisper.
There's no such thing as
Not
comfortable
yelling
whisper.
who you been talking to. No, I'm just kidding.
Your mom.
Oh, that's true. There are careless whispers, though. We move.
Jesus Christ. So, I'm assuming you were...
Music is
detective
loud.
one.
Oh no!
Yeah,
So-
Rufus is just gonna
You
like
have my moment.
put his hand on the hilt of the sword in his jacket and just walk like central to the group.
All right. So, the curator pivots, and you definitely see more of the second individual that's basically like they have the same spine, but their arms are disconnected, legs are the same, different face. So really it's the arms are backwards. So like it's not like two sets of arms like a four-armed creature. It's literally like they can be backwards talking to you while the other one is navigating. And they take you down the first part of the museum. And the paintings, which is what these are, they are paintings, in this area seem to be regular, medium, like acrylics, oil paints, watercolors. And they're things like, you know, a beach at sunset, think of things like Bob Ross painted. You know, you see some of that, those beautiful landscapes. And then you see some of like those older style paintings with like women on fainting couches with all the folds painted to show off, you know, that ability to paint those shadows and those lights in to make cloth look, you know, fluid, essentially. There are paintings with lemons in them.
Still life.
And as
Kind of like
still life,
still
yeah.
life. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And as you go on, which it is kind of a labyrinth. Like there are several doorways that go different places, and the curator on their wheels turn down like the left side of one rather than going to the right. And they head down. And you see that the paintings start to get more intricate, more elaborate, more unusual. One of the paintings is of a creature emerging from clouds, and the picture starts to move. The clouds start to extend. The creature starts to pull itself forward as if it's going to come out of the painting itself. And the curator, meanwhile, is telling you that, you know, Sally Wickedthorn painted this, and Angel Daisy was the artist of this one, and just essentially giving you the rundown of like, and this is when they were in their, you know, depression period, or their, you know, like just none of it means anything to you guys, but you're getting like the details about whoever these individuals that painted these are. None of them are mortal painters.
Yeah.
Not a single familiar, famous name amongst any of what's been said.
No Whistlers, no, you know, Waterhouse,
Yep.
no Van Gogh. Got it.
No Warhol.
No Warhol.
There's another
yeah.
picture where two skeletons are embracing.
No Banksy.
The picture is glossy on top, and it ripples like water. And at the edges of wherever these skeletons are, like in like the hollow of a tree, in this like pool, these like flowers that are pink, flower petals that are pink and blue and yellow, and the flower petals kind of move with the ripples on the surface of the water. So the skeletons themselves are still within the painting.
Sim's getting closer to him. He's definitely interested in what's causing them to move. It's a style or a type
if
of
you want to make
used.
a roll, if you'd like to make a roll
Well, sure.
on it, you
What would
can go ahead and roll your weird and occult.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah, Zigzag's just kind of trailing behind, holding old Greg. Watching the paintings move.
Old Greg is not touching anything.
Is there anything? Would there be anything to allow for his specialty in alchemy at all, or is this just occult?
Okay. Technically, you can add. This could be a super weird roll. You can add your craft to this if you want to.
So, my weird occult and craft.
I mean, that's just Sim's motto, weird occult craft.
Okay.
I know your craft is really high, so I know
Okay.
how many dice I'm letting you add to this.
That's why
However,
I asked.
when you succeed, you'll figure out why really fast.
Okay. Have some thoughts, but we'll see how this goes.
Does this appear to be mechanical in nature? Or is it just flat out paintings that are making like the
These
paint
are
itself is moving?
Oh,
Flat out paintings.
Okay, a single crit, so 4, 7, 9, 10. 10 successes.
These are hedge spun. These are And you have recipes on it in your book. So you know that whoever painted these pulled the elements that they wanted to move from nature and the hedge itself.
Makes sense.
So these are completely, all of the moving paintings that you're seeing are all hedge spun.
Cool. Is Zigzag also looking at them rather intently and trying to see if they can determine like a mechanical origin?
Yeah, Zigzag's like holding old Greg, like staying a little bit back from them, and like every now and then, like looks like they're gonna touch one of the paintings and stops.
Where exactly did you get these?
From the painters themselves, although some came from, I guess you could say, next of kin or the closest thing they had to it. Some were just located in the hedge. Some were found in abandoned places. Some were brought to us from the mortal world, and then, like most things that come in contact with the hedge, changed over time.
Indeed. Wonderful work, actually. A lot of cases here.
They're well done.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes quite the tortured artist to produce a craft of this.
So, like most museums, you're not allowed to touch, right?
I would prefer you didn't, lest you
You're correct.
damage one of the paintings, of which, of course, you would be expected to repay.
You break it, you bought it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's more than fair.
Is Zigzag going to try and see if the paintings are saying anything?
Maybe. Maybe we just want to know, like, how they're made, and if this is something that should be brought to somebody's attention.
Okay, it's your call. Sim is just going, Sim is just looking at the paintings and thinking about the recipes that he already knows, and just like, damn, okay, I got some ideas.
Rufus is just watching. Like, everyone's looking at the paintings. Rufus is watching this mannequin.
Yeah.
And the mannequin.
Their movements, like.
Now, what you notice of their movements is the body that is facing you, which is the more masculine presenting one, while the feminine one is the one that's pushing forward, basically the walking one versus the talking one.
Women are always propping dudes up.
Yeah, is doing the like hand gestures that like show, here is this painting by so and so, and here is this, and like little snippets of this was painted with such and such a medium, and this is why this one is special. So he's giving the presentation while she moves forward. So it's clear that while they're functioning at the same time, whoever is in the front is the one that is controlling the direction they go, while the one that's facing you is the one that's controlling the vocalization. So it's clear they have different roles that they do. So that's where the voice is kind of fluctuating between feminine and masculine, is they have the same voice, so only one of the faces can talk at a time.
Okay.
Rufus just kind of squints his eye. Just.
This room smells like so many things. You can smell the metal, you can smell the oil from like their gears. You can smell the type of oil that's in the paint. You can smell, on top of that, you can smell fetid pond water coming off of the painting that Sim just got done looking at. You can smell burning from somewhere deeper in. You can smell the hints of old coppery blood. There is a lot of smells mixed into this place. You can smell ozone from the picture with the cloud with the monster coming out of it, and you can tell that's what it's coming off of that painting fairly apparently, which Sim, you understand that the painting was made by pulling that element, literally pulling it down and making it malleable and putting its essence into the paint to make it move like that.
Yep.
Essentially commanding the element to be your medium. And so it's smelling like ozone is a normal thing, potentially, if that is what the artist was hoping to achieve as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this place. It gives me the creeps.
Worried about how some of these things were made.
Too many smells.
Sims can let him know if he happens to come across anything that might trigger. Or anything about how a certain art piece is put together. As we're moving along through the exhibits.
It's mainly the ones that have people that Zigzag starts to get uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Were you going to talk to any of them, Zigzag?
If the curator looks like, they're busy talking, like getting getting a conversation with Sim about it. Rufus is actually a lot bigger than Zigzag.
Mm-hmm.
So Zigzag's gonna trail behind Rufus and then just reach out and gently brush the painting.
You have to touch them to talk to them, right?
I do.
Which painting? Right now, it's the two that you've seen that are moving are the creature coming out of the clouds.
Yep.
And the two skeletons underwater in the pool beneath the tree.
The creature.
The creature?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What would you like to ask the painting?
Are you stuck in there, or were you made this way?
A little of both. The voice is breathy, like a gust of air.
Folks, you mean, you got put in there?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Come again?
Why? Did you do something?
No, I didn't do anything. I was minding my own business, and I was plucked from the sky.
Can I vibe check the creature?
Sure.
Okay.
Vibe check that cloud.
We'll see. Okay. We vibe check the clouds. This is what we do.
You vibe checking. Yeah, the creature that's emerging from the clouds appears kind of half made out of clouds, half made out of something organic, like flesh.
Mm-hmm.
but looks kind of cloud-like. Like the two kind of blend seamlessly as the creature starts to as it's pulling itself out. And you see that it kind of repeats the action. Like at times it feels like it's kind of a loop of it moving forward and then moving back and then moving forward and then moving back. Like the painting's not meant to be looked at for too much longer than that first action. And then it kind of resets a little, but
Okay,
it has a backup motion that it does.
Okay, so there's the actual look of a reset. It's not like an animated GIF where it starts over at a certain point.
No, it kind of it backs up. Now that could easily be the artist having, when they hedge spun it, putting that in as they created with the craft, and not not anything suspicious.
Could be just yeah, I get you. Product of how it's made. Okay.
Yeah. What was your vibe check?
5.
5. Your camera glitched out for me, so apologies. It'll come back, I promise. But 5.
Maybe.
So there it is. Hi. The idea, the impression you get is what you're talking to isn't necessarily a creature. A creature was not stuck into this. But because you are talking to the item, to the very paint, essentially, you are talking to the trapped cloud that was hedge spun into the item, that now has its own semi-sentience due to your contract. So you are talking to an element that is now paint.
Excuse me.
Sweet.
Got it.
You never thought you'd have to say.
Now I'm thinking about hedge spun vape. Vape paper. There we go.
This is Zigzag's next enterprise.
Hedge spun vape juice.
Tic-tac-toe.
Beautiful.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Absolutely majestic.
The only hedge spun vape juice here.
So
This one's called Red Bull and cigarettes.
rude. And it's a blue cow. Copyright.
Blue cow.
Blue cow and
And
cigarettes.
cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah. And this could help in the
Utterly
future.
delicious.
If I do a glamour check, can I use instant expertise?
Ooh, nice.
Instant expertise is the one that allows you to...
Intrinsic knowledge about how these things are used and made.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
Gosh.
I lose glamour.
I'm so glad Sandalia's not here because she'd use her contracts of artifice to unmake the painting to find out how it worked.
Oh! Exactly why the art museum was something they probably shouldn't have put in, And yeah, if everyone is kind of running distraction, you can get this mannequin who runs this building, this museum, to just go on and on and on about the paintings.
Oh.
So
Sim is talking shop. He is just like, so. Hello.
So what kind of brushes, how much pressure was applied, is what specific brand of paint? Do you know what ingredients were used? Did you know that they used to use ground up mummy for that mummy brown color?
Do we need a temperature controlled room here? What is the canvas?
Precisely. And they'll just keep going about each of the paintings. So,
perfect.
What was your roll for that?
5.
5 again? Okay. So with that 5, you can tell, this will let you know the actual recipe for this item, which is they're very guarded secrets, so good job, Zigzag. Basically, the painter stood with a blank paint can, like just an empty paint can, underneath a cloud. And they waited for the cloud to start changing with the wind and start reforming. And they basically used their craft manipulation to take their paintbrush and dip it in the cloud from a distance, essentially. So they used, and then they started like putting it into the paint can. So as the cloud formed different shapes, they took little bits of the cloud paint, put it into the bucket, and then started painting with it. And then they had to take a gust of wind, the same wind that was moving the clouds, and they had to manipulate that into a different type of paint to essentially get the moving cloud monster.
Cool.
Which these are separate craft and weird rolls, separate craft and occult rolls each time to make the different types of paint to get the effect. So this one has it has two effects. It has the wind and the cloud, and that is
nice.
That is how this was made. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. You're very pretty, Cloud. Bye.
Yep. Painting goes silent in the middle of its sentence. It's pretty. Okay. All right. So.
Excuse me. I have to go cumulus somewhere else.
Hey, this is a serious conversation.
Curator takes you around the next corner, and you see these half sculptures, half paintings. They're in frames.
Oh, okay. It was like half sculptures. What? Okay.
Half sculptures.
Got it.
They're in canvas, which is painted, but like wires are coming out, and they're attached to things like clockwork hearts, which beat. Zigzag and Sim, you can easily tell with your craft skills, and especially Zigzag, what you usually make, that half of this sculpture is in fact animated through clockwork. It's not the paint. There's paint in the background, but this particular sculpture painting is definitely animated through not being hedge spun, but through being constructed to beat like a heart. And behind it is painted like blood through veins, like a blown up microscopic image of like red blood cells traveling through is what's behind this heart as it mechanically beats on this canvas.
Feels like a science museum exhibit almost.
A little upsetting, just a little.
And
it's clockwork. It's for sure clockwork. It's not anyway.
Sandalia.
There's another painting off to the side. No! Off to the side that has like gears that are the middle of sunflowers with paint coming off of that. And so, these tiny little gears make a field of sunflowers. And there are several like that along the way. Wires that make up flower stems, but like are attached to a canvas. So the flowers are painted on, but the copper wires or whatever are, free floating on, like glued to the canvas. And then you come to another picture, which is slightly more disturbing than the rest. It is of a woman who has a spider bursting through her stomach.
Okay.
Blood is basically spilling out of this woman as the spider, these legs reach out. And the picture has a 3D quality to it. And this, Rufus, is where you can tell the blood is coming from. This picture is painted with somebody's blood. It's also got like a gloss over it to make it almost have a wet look still, despite the fact that the blood is dry. And if you look fairly close, you don't need to touch the painting, but you notice that the hairs on the spider's legs are actually tiny little hairs that have been glued onto the canvas.
Who made this one?
Oh, this one was made by Penn. You can see that that is the name on the placard. Penn was a troubled individual. It's Penn, by the way.
Mm.
Penn was kind of a troubled individual, and he had a fear of spiders, and so made a series of paintings that, of course, were a way to get over his phobia of them.
I want to leave now.
The exit is this way. We can go
Okay.
forward if you'd like. So-
Did he get over the spider fear?
I believe for the most part he did.
Is it because he's dead?
That might have something to do with it, yes.
Oh,
The curator rolls along, and you pass by things like clay puppets with silk, like moth silk strings, with like stained glass window wings, coming off the back of them. You enter a tunnel because, like the curator said, it's a labyrinth. You're still going to have to walk through most of the exhibits to get out of the
exit, yeah.
out of the museum. Yeah, to the exit. So you walk through a tunnel that is like carved out of what appears to be stone. You're informed that it's paper mache, so not to worry about that. But you do see like wind chimes hanging from the ceiling of this cave, and a like false wind is blowing through, which causes the wind chimes to move. You can tell some of them are made of bone, and the ones made of bone start singing. And they sing a lovely song. It's not just like the sound of wind chimes, it's the voice of somebody singing as you walk through this area.
Nice.
Beautiful voice, but you go through. You go out, and as you go out, there is a painting off to the side that has a boat, and the painting is overflowing with water as the boat starts to come towards what is essentially a waterfall. Looking at the ground, you of course don't see any wetness, despite the fact that it appears that the water is pouring out of the painting onto the floor, but it's not actually touching the ground.
She moist. Just kidding.
And the last
It's
Hmm?
nothing.
She moist.
No, remember that thing I sent you that was describe a cry for help for someone trapped in a well. And it was help she moist.
Yes. Yep, I remember that. And the last painting you come to, and you can see the door that it's right next to, is the painting of a woman with long brown hair. Her face has like prisms of rainbows across it, little clouds. And when you get close enough to it, because you have to approach it to go to the exit, you see that it is made entirely of butterfly wings that have been plucked and glued in an array of colors to make this painting.
What was that? I didn't
just
catch.
why? Yeah, why?
Some people like to get creative with their mediums. I couldn't tell you why exactly they chose butterfly wings, but for the color or the shape or
The butterflies had lives, and they were living beings, and then they took them and they made something,
And like zigzag slowly, like holding old Greg. Like
Simon's gonna clock that discomfort there and be like, I get where you're coming from. Let's move. Meg, how you doing?
Meg's been trailing along behind you, and she looks uncomfortable. Like after you passed through that tunnel,
Yeah.
Meg has looked really uncomfortable since you passed through that tunnel. Like she did not like going in that area for some reason.
Okay.
And was not happy about it. So she's
Sim will
like,
go
okay, this
over
was
and-
fun.
Yeah, Sim will go over and be like, "Are you all right? I'm gonna be okay."
I'm fine. I know things like this exist. I do because like I'm out here all the time. But just that it was just the tunnel was a little bit long and it kind of got a little, it got a little dark at the end. You know what I mean? And like I didn't like really being in there, kind of in the dark with semi-dark, getting dark with. So
Okay. Say no more. We'll head on. I think we're almost done here.
And the curator motions to the door and basically, as kind of a parting word to Zigzag, says, "The butterflies might not have been alive when their wings were taken. Things do die sometimes." And they point to the door.
Sim will nod his head and go, "You have a very eclectic exhibit here.
It's beautiful.
Appreciate you taking us through."
Of course. I appreciate your time as well, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Now please, be safe, and if you ever wish to come back, I'm sure this collection will have grown by then.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Which exhibit do you belong to?
My exhibit is in a different part of the building.
If we come back, I want to see it.
Fair enough.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
It just
Zigzags right out of there.
zigzags right out of there.
The Meg kind of follows along, just like, oh, that was fascinating.
Interesting.
Kind of having a
Very
quiet
interesting.
conversation with old Greg.
Yeah. I'll probably come back at some point.
Old Greg.
It's worth exploring some more.
Young old Greg.
I didn't like that place, Sim. I don't really want to go back.
I hear where you're coming from, yeah. And necessarily say, yeah, there's a few things in there that are, I don't know, curious.
She was a changeling like us. But she lives here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's bad news.
Oops.
She might have been a snatcher.
It's a possibility. It's a good point. But, when they say that they'll escort you through a certain place, it's because they want to take you by what they want you to see. Sure, you could probably get lost. Place is big. Place has a lot of rooms, different stuff, but usually a tour shows you something specific.
If we ever get lost in a place like that, I'll make a fucking door.
I do not doubt that you would.
Mm,
And don't get me wrong.
stop next, right?
Yes. Gestapo's beyond the art museum.
Hmm,
Let's go.
we should probably try to make camp there. Find some goblin fruits, maybe.
Let's get to it. Sim's gonna basically look at the outside of the art museum one more time, just kind of commit some details to memory, some points and parts of the structure.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Oh, parts of the it's kind of like it's what you would expect a museum to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's I mean that's kind of what it looks like. It's just when you hear the word museum, that's what it looks like.
Sure.
Only older and covered in vines and like kind of not half consumed by the hedge, but the hedge is definitely creeping into this location enough that it's kind of like, okay, in 10, 15 years, is it going to be here? What is it going to, will the thorns have, started sticking on to the building, finding their way in, kind of a thing?
Yes. So Sim just kind of looking at it, it's like, as they're walking away, he's just kind of thinking out loud, and he's all like, I wonder if whoever originally had this place is still around.
Well, based on the fact that it's creeping in and the curator is some kind of either changeling, or if they're not a changeling, they're certainly a magical mechanical device that someone else created. I'm guessing probably not. It has the telltale signs of an abandoned hedge place.
Give it a few years, Meg. Be ripe for the picking.
Not if that thing's still around. I had the sneaking suspicion that it would have attacked us if it had perceived us a threat.
Absolutely.
And it would have died.
I don't doubt that either, but
Porcelain breaks real easy.
Gotta be careful, though. It's mannequin. They do have some tricks up their sleeve.
I'm pretty tough, Sim.
I believe that. Just want you to be careful, is all.
Wrestled a dragon once.
That's impressive. No lie.
it is impressive.
Hurt the shit out of me, though.
I see it grew back.
Yeah, for the most part.
Actually, quick out of character question. Does Rufus have much facial hair or hair?
Yeah, Rufus's hair is long as fuck.
Okay,
like
cool.
that
Okay. That's right.
Hair, metal
That's
hair.
Right. Yeah, it's got all that metal
like,
flow going. Got it.
Like a close cropped beard.
Got it. They are rocking some face and big old hair.
Rocking some
face.
face.
Facial hair. That's what I meant to. God damn it.
I know it.
Nope, they're rocking some face. I've seen Nova.
Does Greg need a break?
Great. Are you okay?
I'm old.
Oh, I'm good for now. Though I'm gonna have to eat something at the rest stop.
Literally
But-
just gonna say, "Where's the museum concession stand?"
There wasn't one.
I know.
I
Old
can-
snacks.
Just fruit.
I can make sure we don't leave any tracks for a while.
If you need a break, it's okay.
I mean, if you would like to, Rufus, like I certainly wouldn't mind a break, but if I don't need one. If that's what you're asking, like I could go for a little bit, but if you're offering, I can.
Okay.
I'm doing okay.
How are your bones?
Zach's
Well,
gonna
my
just
bones
shoot
are
Rufus a look.
my bones are always tired. I'm just I'm old, but I'm being carried, which is better than normal because normally I have to walk by myself because Zigzag sends me to find things for him. While he's manning his shop. So it's nice to be carried. It's just a little more relaxing for my joints.
Alright. Just
Don't have joints.
tell me when you want
I do too.
little guy.
I'll let you know when I want a break. Thank you. It's deeply appreciated. See, Zigzag. They know how to treat people.
You're not
They're
that
elders.
Greg.
I'm an old man. I'm an old mushroom man.
Greg, I am
You're 20,
literally,
Greg.
I'm literally like 400 years old, Greg. You can't just go around saying this shit. You're not that old.
Look, just because your kind lives longer does not mean I'm not old.
Yeah, actually, Reggie, that's kind of fair. I've never seen a 20-year-old mushroom before.
Obviously, he's not a real mushroom.
Yeah, but I don't know. He could be. It's weird, I guess.
He's not okay. I mean this in the best way. You're not a real mushroom. You're a Hubton.
I'm I've been a mushroom my whole life.
You're a
You've
mushroom.
looked like a mushroom your whole life. Yeah. Also, you're right
I've
here. Just
been.
a little bit. They go.
You're a,
I've been a mushroom my whole life. I'm a mushroom.
no, a mushling.
I don't know what that means.
It's you.
I guess it's as good of a name as any.
Like Reggie's a froblin. You're a mushling.
Mushroomkin.
A little shroomy guy.
Yeah. No, he's
Zigzag's and covers ears.
he's my best friend.
The shroomer.
I'm sorry, I had to step away. Where are we at?
We're talking about our
Old Greg.
Hubkins.
We're still talking about old Greg. Okay.
All right, buddy,
And-
do you want
and
to go back
Reggie.
in the backpack, or do you wanna maybe get your legs so your joints can have a
I should
minute to
probably
stretch?
stretch my legs.
Okay.
Zigzag will put him down and then just walk right beside him. Just a 1-step wait, 2-step wait, step wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's little, so he's little feet.
He's super agile.
Reggie, you should keep him company. He'll reach up and grab the Browlin off his shoulder and sit him on the ground.
Perfect.
We're making friends.
We are allies.
So,
Tell the echoes of fortune on a great journey.
and all the while, like, as with his shuffling feet, he's turning around and he's essentially erasing footsteps. He's using never tread every once in a while, wrong foot, as well as the ones that change all of that shit up to make it all different and to basically just disguise your path as you go. I will make several rolls for him because he only lost 1 glamour last time. So he's
We
doing
definitely
okay.
need to replenish some glamour when we get to the rest stop.
I just had an idea. Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Care to elaborate?
Oh, no. It's just when you were mentioning about covering paths and stuff, I just had a thought about a cloak. And a cloak, it's called the Cloak of the Courts. And it would be a token that would kind of mimic those contracts that that help hide your path when you go through, but you just wear it. So there you go. That's all.
Zigzag can help make that happen.
There you go.
We can make it dance.
As you guys move along towards the rest stop, you end up noticing 2 things. Well, technically 3. The sun is going down, and it is starting to get dark. Old Greg did not do as great with those ones, so at some point he does stop. He looks a little bit that glamour hungry and turns to Rufus and is like, if you wouldn't mind taking over, that did wear me out a little bit this time.
Yeah, just take a nap.
Come on, man.
It's appreciated.
Put him in, like open the backpack fully where there's like bits and bobs and like make sure there's cloth in there so he can take a nap.
Which he will do. And Uppy's confirmed for the Shroomkin.
Uppy's confirmed for the Shroomkin. Yeah.
There you go.
And the others. What?
Rufus will never tread.
All right. Go ahead and make your glamour check for that. And the other thing you notice is as the sun starts to go down more and more, and as the light starts to dim more and more, you see Meg getting nervous.
Do not lose.
And you...
Sorry.
Awesome. And you see her pull a lantern, like a collapsing foldable lantern, out of her bag. She undoes it. And before she turns it on, you catch sight that Meg during the day does have elements of being a fire elemental. Her eyes burn like embers. Her hair kind of flickers at the edges. But as the sun starts to set, that becomes so much more apparent on her. Her eyes are now glowing way more brightly. The edges of her hair look more like fire, even though her hair is kind of short. It looks more like fire. And her skin starts to flicker underneath with this reddish colored flame that starts to emanate off her own skin. So she's basically becoming a beacon in the dark as the sun starts to go down. And she clicks that light on, and that mostly disappears off of her.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I know we're gonna be there soon. The map says we're gonna be there soon, so it's fine. I got a lantern so we can see where we're going. The hedge gets super dangerous at night, or it can, depending. So
No, that's good. Good call. I got a flashlight in here somewhere, but I mean, I can also just flame dance on his fingertips.
Yeah, we really should get
And-
out. Like we should get to the rest stop because especially like we're looking better as a group, especially with someone like Rufus with us. But like it's still not great to be out.
Agreed.
It's a good time.
How close are we to the rest stop?
That's shortly after Meg has lit this lantern and zigzags, we need to be out of this area.
Mhm.
You start to come up to where you see a signpost, and that signpost points through a parting in the hedge,
Mhm.
and it says the rest stop on it.
Here we go.
You turn down the path. It's kind of this narrow, almost tunnel.
Question. What does the rest stop sign look like? Does it look like a rustic sign, or does it look like a rest stop sign on the side of the highway that's been hedgified?
It looks like a street sign.
Okay.
Like it would say, Jacqueline Way, but instead it says the rest stop on it.
Okay.
So it's that green metal sign
Okay.
that sits at the street corner.
Okay.
Main Street, 9th. It says the rest stop.
Okay. Just curious.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So we should get inside. We should get things paid. We really need to get Greg. And like hold back up. Greg, we're here.
He's glamorous.
And the rest stop looks like one of those cabins that you rent for like a weekend when you just want to avoid people for a long time, and you're like, hey, a whole weekend isolated in the woods sounds delightful, right? It's one of those.
Ooh. Considering everything I've seen, it doesn't, but at the same time, it does.
Don't let the last place I lived alter your perception of this place. I'm sure it's fine.
That is not at all what it looks like. Like, I'm talking about one of those just like cozy cabins where it's like
Cozy
you're
cabins.
literally getting away for like your I put mental health, but like you're like, hey, I really need some time to myself, away from people, away from a city, away from that's what it is. It's like a rentable cabin that you could get.
Ah, yes.
Not like the janky cabins at like outdoor schools where you're sitting there freezing your fucking ass off because they're not at all insulated because they're basically made from, a lick and a promise.
This is where
A lick? Damn,
This is
they've
where-
upgraded.
This is where
Damn,
the
they
horror-
adding shit?
This is where the horror writer goes to spend the weekend cranking out their latest novel.
There you go.
All right.
And yes.
Rufus is gonna walk up and knock twice hard on the door.
You hear the door unlock. It doesn't open, but you hear it unlock when you do that. There's a little porch. The porch has like a little swing on it, one of those like deck swings that's got like the cushioning on it.
Swing?
A porch swing, thank you.
Yeah.
You
There's a
said
porch swing on the porch. Perfect.
What did you call it? A deck swing?
A deck swing,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay, I followed what you got. But
I
got it.
forgot what
No,
the name of it was,
you got
but I
it.
used the wrong word.
It's all good.
I called it a porch, then I called it a deck swing because it's a deck. Anyways, I don't know. It's fine.
I mean, you can get decked when you swing sometimes, so it's all good.
But yeah, it's got the cushioning, but door unlocks. And Rufus, you hear the click of the lock.
Got some cushion for the pushing.
Push the door open. If there's any
All right.
here, you should say so now.
You smell anything?
You don't hear anything? It smells like wood, like, freshly cut wood, as if the cabin is new, just constructed of like pine or something. When you look in, you see comfortable couches, you see
A fireplace.
you see a fire going in the fireplace, you see a kitchen, and that's what you see when you look in, and you don't smell people or what you would be familiar with, like a changeling smell or the smell of something living.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's empty.
Okay.
We really should get inside that.
Yep. Let's get inside. Let's
The
get
door locked.
let's get old Greg situated on one of the couches. And Sim will make sure everybody's inside. Check the path where we came from. Check just general surroundings before closing the door.
Yep, you don't see anything. It doesn't look like anything followed you as you close the door up.
Okay.
And when you go in, the more you kind of look, the more it almost looks like it was designed for you guys. There are two smaller chairs, like in the living room area. There are two smaller that look like they fit
Reggie and
just the right size for Reggie and
old Greg.
Reggie and old Greg.
Aw.
Meg doesn't seem bothered by this fact, by the way. She walks in, she heads to the kitchen, and she starts opening like the ice box and the pantries. And the fridge is a little bit archaic looking. That's why I said ice box. It clearly functions, but it's not like the most modern looking fridge in the world.
Understood.
But you can see that a little light comes on. And now that you're inside this house, this cabin with the lights on and stuff, she definitely looks a lot less nervous than she did before.
Cool. Sim's gonna talk to her about that here in a minute as soon as I get started.
Well, she's gonna start making food for everybody. So.
Right, we're not. Yeah, he's not gonna bring it up right away. Well, actually, he can help make some food and go. So, hey, see, you're feeling a little
And
better.
good news for Zigzag, you do see when she opens the cupboard honey, and you see cream in the fridge.
Zigzag. It's been a couple days, so Zigzag's gonna grab the cream and the honey and a cup, and then grab root around for some goblin fruit for old Greg and themselves.
You do find some. There's a bowl that has a couple of different types of goblin fruit in it.
Is there any particular to what we need to refill Glamour?
Yeah, there's a couple kinds of each. It's 3 of each different emotions. So it's the sorrow, desire, wrath, and fear. So I have a couple of each. It's 3 of each variety. So
Cool.
Yeah, Zigzag's gonna grab the desire fruit and a knife and cut up the goblin fruit into slices and give it to old Greg.
old Greg will happily munch on it. Well, Meg makes dinner for everybody else.
Sim will be helping in the kitchen. That's fine.
All right. And then Sim had a question.
Oh, yeah, he was just going to be striking up some conversation with Meg while they're making food, and he's like, hey, it looks like you're feeling a lot better. You worried, you worried out there about something? I mean, more so than usual? I mean, I know there's lots to be worried about in the hedge, but...
Well, when it gets dark, it gets more dangerous during, when it's dark out. Because there are creatures that can see in the dark, and you're at a distinct disadvantage. Plus, I mean, I don't know if you saw me, but I tend to be an unholy beacon of light, which draws a lot more attention than it needs to be fair.
I'm gonna say, keeping with Sim's kind of theme, he has like if when it gets darker, he has like kind of like that blue pilot light kind of shimmer to his skin, and that's kind of where
and his arm, I'm assuming,
and his and the filigree that's on his arm just glows right up.
Yeah.
So understandable. And he's like, yeah, I get that. But hey, good thinking on the lantern, and we made it here to the rest stop so far. So far, we're doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really hoping that our luck stays with this. The Every Which Way map has been a good investment.
It has been a good investment.
But,
and it did show us a safe path, so that's a lot better than just kind of using the Pathfinder and hoping for the best sometimes.
Yeah, he's gonna be helping fix them together some stuff, and he's gonna smile to himself, and he's all like, he's all like that art museum that we went through. I know Rufus didn't like it very much, and I agree with him on it.
I don't blame him.
It's got some real creepy things, but I actually got inspired by one of them.
Which one?
The one where the clouds kind of moved and just kind of had that effect of kind of moving, and I thought about it, and I was like, kind of looks around, zagging around, and he's like I'm working on making a ring for Nova, and
nice.
What I want to see about doing is I want to see if I can maybe have like an effect of like frost kind of appear and recede over the ring. I don't know. I'm going to have to mess around with it. I'm going to see if I can reproduce what was in paint in metal. It's going to be a challenge.
I mean, that is kind of what, though, like, other things replicate in fabric and other such things too. So if someone can put it into paint, I don't see why, something that's usually on fabric, why they couldn't put it into metal.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm working on it, if you're interested, you can swing on by the forge if you want.
Yeah, I would like to see that a lot. And what Meg has decided to make for y'all is a whole bunch of different types of sandwiches. So she's making like French dip sandwiches. She's making grilled cheese. She's making like just big subs, and just like along with like fresh salad and for anyone who likes meat. Yeah, she's kind of doing the same thing, but she's also taking
holding the bread and the cheese to make the grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yep.
Just
does anybody want bacon? You want bacon too? I'm just kidding.
But she's taking things like steak, and because like it seems like the rest stop is kind of just accommodating, and things are just kind of there. And so she's taking like the steak and cooking it, and then putting it into strips, and putting that on like sandwiches, and making just a big meal for Hi Mouse. Okay, making just a big meal for everybody.
Speaking of food,
he hit me with his tail. He's food right over here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will say, for Zigzag's reference, Rufus has not taken his eye off Meg since they've been in the house.
Yeah, once Zigzag kind of makes sure that Greg's situated and kind of consumed the unholy concoction that is like the 24 ounce of just cream with honey, just sitting there, standing beside Rufus, just drinking it and being like,
"You good?"
Dang.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, I actually don't know what's going on. You're just staring a lot, and I'm worried to bring that up because I thought it would like be, unacceptable. But we're motley now, so I'm bringing it up. Would you like some?
Holds out the cup.
Nice. Sim's going to be rooting around for drinks for everyone while that conversation is happening.
I don't have much.
The sky is the limit.
Edge whiskey.
Yeah, I don't have much of a sweet tooth.
Goblin gin.
I have to.
I know. To answer your question, it's my job to watch Meg's back,
Yeah, but we're here now, and she's okay. She's just making dinner.
With Sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we pointing out things, or is that an issue? Is Meg not supposed
No, it's fine.
Okay, alright, so what I've learned is when people say it's fine in that tone of voice, it's not fine, but they just don't want to talk about it. Or they do want to talk about it and they don't know how to bring it up. So I'm gonna need a cue here on exactly how you want this conversation to play out.
It's
because,
fine.
Okay, because, they're friends, and friends do things like cook together and,
Weird sexual tango.
Meg isn't having a weird sexual tango with Sim. I mean, the last time we talked, she wasn't actually seeing anybody. And it's, I'm just take a drink, and we're gonna sit here in a little bit of silence.
Okay.
That's okay, if that's
Just to remind the storyteller, Rufus's vice is envy.
Oh, that's perfect. Yep. Nope.
Samesies.
I'm enjoying this conversation a whole lot. So it's good. That's a good reminder.
If you wanted to cook with Meg, you could ask Meg if she would like to cook with you. Because you don't know you want to cook with someone unless you tell them that you want to.
Fine.
You're obviously upset about it, so. It's okay if you want to cook with someone.
I said I'm fine.
Okay.
Sim comes back with drinks.
Meg is still making sandwiches because she knows
Rufus
Rufus
just
has to eat a
snatches
lot.
cup out of Sim's hand. Just
Okay. I did.
Thank you. So,
Total what did I do? Look on Sim's face.
I'm just thirsty. It's fine. It's fine.
You don't say. Meanwhile, Sim's like honestly thinking about like all the cool things that he could possibly make for Nova with the rings and everything. That's like where he's at.
Meg's making sandwiches.
What's that?
Yeah.
She's been to rest stops before. She's just like, yeah, we're gonna get everybody fed. It's gonna be great.
Zigzag's just like,
Alright, the weird slurping silence is a lot for me, so, the museum.
Meg, the
I talked to one of the
deadly
paintings.
thing that draws the moths. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
don't talk about me like that.
But yes,
Yeah. The
So-
museum sucked. It
yeah.
was bad.
I mean, thankfully they didn't actually put anybody into the paintings, which was what I was worried about.
Mm,
But I did talk to one of them, so I know how the paint's made.
that's awesome. I had a Sims like taking out a notebook and writing down some notes, and they're like, "Yeah, I had an idea about that as well." You know, so they start like writing out, you know, some ingredient ideas and things picked up from what they were talking with the curator about, and whatever Zigzag wants to share.
Mm-hmm.
Zigzag's going to dump all of the information about the paintings and then look over at Rufus and be like,
I'm sorry. This might take a little bit. Maybe you should see if Nova needs help with the sandwiches, Rufus.
Meg.
Rufus is like, Nova who?
I'm tired. Leave me alone. Yeah,
It's
Meg.
okay. It's okay. It's all good.
Meg needs help with the sandwiches.
Although Sim's gonna be like, "Oh, you know Nova?"
I heard you had a weird sexual tango with her at the taco thing.
Porch.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit on the porch.
Oh, okay.
Meg could need help with. Okay.
Okay, there's a very nice porch swing out front, I suppose, if you want to sit on it.
You really shouldn't be out there by yourself, though, at all. Like, it's dangerous to be out in the hedge by yourself. That's when it's the easiest to get taken.
I've got a sword.
Okay.
I'm just on the porch. You'll hear me yell.
He's right.
Times.
Rufus is gonna go sit on the porch swing and
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sim will just start picking up dishes and what's left over from
Yep.
who drank and start washing things up and being all hostile.
Yeah.
Hostile
Meg.
like, you know?
Meg just. Meg just finished dinner. She's like putting shit on the table and is like, "Hi guys. I've not been paying attention to any of what's been going on because I was doing something else." Like,
Conveniently.
We're
So Sim and
talking about
Sim and Zigzag are having the conversation about all the paint stuff, so he's going to make notes about that and share with that. And Sim will glance over to Meg and be like, after she's close to, getting finished with her dinner. Like, might want to go and have a talk with, check in with Rufus out front. Just to make sure he's-
after you mean after she set everything on the table?
No. After she's done eating.
She has not eaten
Exactly.
because nobody else has eaten.
Correct.
So she's.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But everybody has started.
No, Rufus is on the porch.
But he started eating, right?
she hadn't finished the food yet.
Oh,
That's
my
why-
bad. My bad.
Zigzag was trying to get Rufus to go cook with Meg because she was finishing
Got
up.
it.
Because
I'm
remember how
sorry.
long certain sandwiches, like French dip sandwiches, take a little bit?
Yep.
So she's
Sorry,
in the
I-
middle of making some more intricate.
Got it.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Okay, I'll go I'm sorry. I thought Rufus had already started on something.
You
yeah,
know,
we might
if
want to
Sim
go
goes
grab
to
Now
get
getting all
up,
the dinner.
Zigzag
Sim
gonna
goes
go
get
get
up
him.
to get Rufus.
Okay.
No, Meg, you wanna let Rufus know the food's done? I don't think he knows.
I didn't know that the food's done. Yeah, she'll finish plating. Yeah, I'll just be right back, and she'll walk outside and go find Rufus.
Sitting on the porch swing, just.
How much of the porch swing is he taking up, and how much is it bending? Because she might not sit next to him.
I'm
Because
getting
it looks
a
like
lot.
she's.
Rufus is big. It's probably strange.
Yeah, she's gonna sit on like the banister in
The
front
opposite,
of
yep,
the porch
yep,
swing.
mhm.
Yeah, instead of stressing it out more in case it breaks.
Zigzag's talking to the bench. Help me! Sorry,
Help me, my bones.
You got this guy. You're good. It's what you were made for.
Just because something is made for something doesn't mean that's fair to it. Like, let's
true.
stop with these awful stereotypes.
So, Meg pops up. Hey, what you doing out here?
Thinking.
Well, what you thinking about?
I'm used to going in the edge with you, and I just got one person to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Sim and Zigzag are here. I've only got one eye. It's hard to keep an eye on all three of you.
Well, we can all just stay a little bit closer together, and it'll solve the problem.
Yeah, I guess. I worry.
Mm-hmm. And that's fair. There's a lot to worry about out here.
Yeah.
But we're doing great so far. I mean, minus the creepiness of the art museum, which, we're all fine.
I've got a weird feeling that was a close call.
I got the feeling that when we were told about the getting lost thing, is that potentially some of the people that got lost got made into a form of mediums and ended up as a sculpture or a painting, and it was just a little concerning, only slightly.
You were the one that told me you can't trust a changeling that lives in the edge.
That's because a lot of the times they end up becoming hobgoblins. And for a changeling to become a hobgoblin means that they've become twisted so far by the thorns that they've just kind of lost who they are. They're not quite as bad as privateers. They're not quite as bad as those that fully return to Arcadia, but they just somehow couldn't cope.
Yeah. I just don't want to let you down. That's all.
Oh, you're not. You're not going to let me down.
If you say so.
I do. So, do you want to go in and have some food? Are you hungry?
I could eat.
Awesome. Because so can I. So, we could always have this conversation in the morning. We can come to a resolution about how maybe we want to go about traversing through the hedge so that maybe we don't end up in a situation like we potentially could have at the art museum.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Rufus will stand up and open the door for Meg.
And she'll give him a little nod, and she'll go in, and she'll sit at the table.
Sim and Zigzag are going back and forth about notes until Rufus and Meg show up, and we'll be like, "Oh, fantastic! We can have some food."
Yeah. Zigzag's going off about just like random little things about like how you can make a clockwork picture, but like this was actually made with the paint, and like about how like maybe you could take and make gears out of elements to make the elements move, maybe. And then once everybody comes in, it's like,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, those are all.
It was a little bit of a tangent. I haven't talked to a whole lot of other artists.
Oh, it's an absolutely fascinating conversation. Lots to take into consideration. The metallurgy applications, the different. Oh, there's just. Oh, imagine. Oh goodness, like the things you could do with cutlery and swords and.
What did you say about cutlery?
Reggie jumps out on the table, stabs one of the sandwiches with a fork, and just
Oh, just like symbol grab like a fork or a knife or whatever happens to be on the table, and just be like, oh, just be like interesting to apply little motions and effects to what you use for utensils and things. I don't know, just something, yeah. Anyway, just,
You could make a spoon out of ice so your ice cream wouldn't melt.
It's a really good idea.
mm-hmm.
You can scoop it easier.
Or you could make a hot spoon so your soup didn't get cold.
Or a warm knife that always cuts butter or cheese.
Yeah, like cheese.
Cheese. In that case, you probably want the grilled cheese. Try to play vote. Sim's gonna go down on if there's like a club sandwich. He likes club sandwiches.
There is.
okay, there's more of that sentence. All right.
What?
Gonna go down on the club sandwich.
It's
I
fine.
apologize.
you gotta know by this point, 3LC. You gotta know that if you say it, we're gonna hear it.
I do know.
Yeah. Go down on that
So-
club.
And Zigzag already. Nope. Zigzag already had some of the cream and honey.
Zigzag going down on the cream. Yep. It's all good.
Yep. Zigzag has already swallowed the cream and honey. Yep.
Yep. And old Greg had the fruit.
The goblin fruit, yeah. Sliced
Okay.
up. Like orange slices.
And I'm assuming Reggie has taken a bite of something.
Yeah, the sandwich, he speared it.
Yep. The spear.
Yep. Okay.
The pickle spear.
After everyone has taken at least one bite of something, is when Meg grabs like a French dip sandwich and starts eating.
I knew she'd after the dip. It's great. Love those.
Yep.
Prime rib dip is awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zigzag's gonna look at Rufus, and then at Meg, and then at Rufus, and then at Meg, and then just take small bites of the grilled cheese sandwich.
Meg's eating her sandwich. Looks like she's having a really good time eating that sandwich.
Does anybody else think it's kind of weird that we haven't seen any animals other than the butterflies?
Guess that depends. Would we have normally seen
Well, the fish in the lake,
on the fish?
too.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think it's weird.
It has to do with the path we're on, I think. It's either a good sign or a really bad one.
It's true. But a couple of different ways. Haven't seen
Oh,
small animals or heard birds, for that matter. My knowledge.
there are some hedge beasts that are exceptionally dangerous. So if there's one or multiples that hunt within this area, it's less likely you'd see an actual like bird or mice or anything like that. But also it could just be that this is an area that's well traveled enough that they avoid it just due to Changeling and True Fae and stuff. So
Sense.
Do you guys think the three behind the mice were changelings?
I don't see why
I think
not.
about it sometimes.
They at least have to be like hedge touched or something. Especially with the shenanigans they got up to.
Yeah.
I thought old nursery rhymes were supposed to be metaphors.
I mean, we're not. And we exist. So why couldn't the three blind mice?
I mean, I never thought of it that way. I guess I always just thought it was a metaphor for something else. Like the way that Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow, right? Like that's supposed to be a metaphor for something, right?
Things can have multiple meanings.
Reggie said he saw the headless horseman once.
I always thought Jack and Jill was going into and coming out of the hedge itself.
Didn't he die in that story?
He just busted his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hurt his head. I
That's
don't know
right,
if he
the-
died from it. He broke his crown.
Yeah, the I think the poem continues. I think the one most people hear is only part of it.
Mm-hmm. There's always more.
Could we go back to the headless horse? Did we all just not hear the headless horseman thing? Like we just glossed right on over that.
No,
like,
I heard the headless horseman.
He's hunted horsemen before, like.
Yes, it was dark and stormy nights in Arcadia, and I saw a galloping headless horseman with a jack-o'-lantern and all of that shit, and it was sort of wild, and I just sort of found a place to hide while he went by.
where did you hide?
under a lily pad.
Pretty good hiding place.
Especially
seems like a
when
good
the
spot for
water begins to rise and you can just poke your eyes out of the water and observe the world around you, and then the flies get really close to the water and then you just
But then you hope you don't get seen.
Reggie, don't stick your tongue out at the table. It's not nice.
if that's how he eats, though, like,
Oh, don't let him fool you. He can eat like a normal guy.
guess that does change things a little bit.
Then we'll top off everybody else's drinks with what.
Yeah. If it's just a normal drink, Zigzag's gonna look at it and be like,
Thank you. Yeah, Rufus, do you want this?
slide it over.
Oh well, Sim wouldn't offer it if he saw that Zigzag wasn't drinking anything put out before. So if they were just focusing on the cream and honey, then that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should all get some rest.
Yeah.
Start early.
Probably for the best.
Find the cats.
Too early, like once the sun is fully up here.
There's a cozy cabin, fireplace, food. We're all putting ourselves to sleep here. We need
Meg will start to clean up the dishes
yeah.
after everyone's done. And she, of course, because she started last, is usually the last to finish. So
Yep.
When she starts to grab
Hmm?
dishes, Rufus will just put a hand on her shoulder. I got
it. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're sure. I appreciate it.
I mean, you cooked. There's no reason you should have to clean, too.
There. And she'll hand the dishes that she picked up, like the one plate she managed to grab, and she'll hand it to you.
Then we'll just put all the glasses
Mama.
away.
This is from eating the cat food, you stink.
Bubby,
He
no.
gave himself gas.
Yeah, cat food gas.
This is cat food gas.
That
Oh,
sounds
no.
like something you'd find at a dispensary.
Not wrong. The Mao bomb.
Yeah, man, we got that cat food gas. How much do you need?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah.
Just a quick question. You said that
Yes.
you said that the rest stop is accommodating in a sense.
Mhm.
When Rufus is alone in the kitchen for a moment,
Mhm.
he's gonna go over to the fridge
Mhm.
and think really hard about that gross, mushy gruel that they were fed in the pits,
Mhm.
and open up the fridge and look in there.
There is something that looks similar to it, but it's not 100% exact to what you're imagining.
So take the bowl out, just scoop it with his hand, and just sit on the kitchen floor and eat a bowl.
Once things are picked up enough in the kitchen and set up, and Sim's gonna head over to one of the couches or chairs by the fireplace and sit down, and he's got a little sketchbook out, and he's got a pencil, and he's he's making sketches of rings and the different types of effects that could go on them. Looking at frost covering and not covering. He's looking at snowfall effect going across one. And he can't reproduce it just yet, but he's drawing several rings and putting that effect in a different spot on each ring, taking the edge of his sketch pad like that, and just looking at how it moves. And Zigzag can join him if he wants.
Yeah, Zigzag's just like,
I don't want to bug you, but
what you doing?
you're like, what you doing?
I just, when I get ideas, I have to put them to paper. I'm really intrigued by this idea of working metals in perhaps a different way. That's all. Yeah, so I'm looking at these different effects and these things that could. Oh, well, you were mentioning about capturing the elements in, like, the gears and the clockwork and things like that.
I mean, you might be able to figure out a way to do that with, like, is it a ring?
Yes, it's a engagement ring.
Is it overstepping if I ask for who?
No, not overstep. Oh no, it's not overstepping at all. It's for Nova. The Nova that you may have met.
I haven't met any Nova.
Just looking from the kitchen. I got that.
Meg wandered to look at, like, the room situation, so, like, she's walked and is doing that,
Meg,
which is why she's not in the
nowhere where any of this goes down.
Oh yeah, no, she went to go. Yeah, she absolutely went. She was like, "What do the bedrooms look like?" Like,
Probably, especially, like, is she elemental?
Yes, actually, she's a ice elemental. It's okay.
You could probably
The look on your
feed
face,
off
a
of
lot
her.
of people look the same way. It's okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Your fire, the duality there. I didn't. I was busy.
Trust me, I've heard all the jokes. It's great.
Why would people make? Okay.
They think they're cute. It gets old after a while.
I mean, like, I heard about the whole, like, sweep off the feet, no romance, and, like, literally that's what's going on. So that's kind of cute.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, no, we just.
Why are you thanking me?
No, I appreciate your perspective. Thanking you for the perspective on it.
Oh, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, you could have the ring feed off of her. Maybe.
It's thought. I appreciate. Yeah, you get some interesting ideas. I like that.
Yeah, I should go to bed. Great, come on.
Okay.
okay. He's half napping already. Like,
it's okay. Zigzag has made themselves uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Help the friend.
Okay.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
So you grab little Greg. When you guys go to the back,
Okay.
there are 4 different rooms. 2 of the rooms have much smaller beds on them, they're right next to the big beds. They're like attached to the big beds, but they're like clearly a separate. Again, it's like the entire house has accommodated you for the night. There are blankets made of materials that you find comfortable to your skin. There are just not a sense of familiarity, but a sense of like comfort in the fact that like it's cozy. It's cozy to you. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word.
Okay.
This is ours, and then it's your guys's.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What?
These rooms are ours, and those two are your guys's.
Oh, okay.
We all have separate rooms.
Sounds good. Sim's gonna take just one last look around, check the front door, look out over the porch, just kind of see how.
When you look out over the porch, go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness.
Okay. Should I add anything for concealed specialty?
Yep.
Okay.
This is fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's fine.
2, 4, 5, 6 successes.
6 successes. You see off in the foliage. So it's a decent distance away from the rest stop. The rest stop has some grounds on it that has like an area where like a campfire can be set up and, you know, various other elements where potentially more buildings or like the building could extend to accommodate more or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of off in the hedges, you see near the ground, it's the first thing you notice is something pale like bone. And kind of following that color up, you see the half-rotted leg of a dog hiding in the bushes.
Mm.
It's sniffing the ground, it's looking around. Its eyes are gone, and in place of its eyes, kind of deep set in these brambles, you can kind of see like a little bit of green that you might have assumed was moonlight on leaves if you didn't follow that bone, that paw bone up to a half-rotted leg, up to its face.
Interesting. It's just I haven't seen Sim hasn't
Just sniffing
seen
around.
Sim hasn't seen anything like this before.
You have?
Yeah. When Derek.
On your very first trip out of the hedge.
Thank you. Okay.
This is a hound of the hunt.
Got it. Thank you.
This is what Savannah used to be.
Right.
I swear to God, if that's my cat, I'm having an emergency. Hold on.
Yep. No worries.
Yeah, no, when we ran out of the hedge,
Yes, thank
that's
you.
the dog's big pot.
That's right. Okay. For some reason, I had a slightly different. Okay. I had a slightly different.
You have
envisioning
not
of the dog
seen.
from what I remember it. Okay. Never mind.
They all kind of look different. Some of them are completely skeletal. Some of them are less rotted. It depends on how long the dog has been in the master's care.
Sure.
Some of them are like completely like stomachs gone, just like glowing light that's holding them together, like ragged fur and skin hanging off a bone. Like they just kind of various states of decay, essentially. So this one looks like it could be a fairly young hound because really you're only seeing its paw. I tossed my pencil in the dog water, so there was that.
That's one way to keep your notes clean, but not the correct way.
Is it a mechanical pencil?
Yeah, not super happy. It is.
Okay.
But it just, unfortunately, I don't. Anyways.
Anyway.
Sorry about that, but
it's okay.
Yeah, so it's been over a year since you've seen one of these. It was from it's been almost a year and a half since Sim's flight through the hedge with Derek, and that is the last time that you saw one of these.
Okay.
Now,
thank you
it doesn't necessarily look like it's noticed you. It's just sniffing around the edge of this area. Probably because it has some either familiarity with it, or because, these areas like
somewhere it looks.
I think it was Reggie and Meg said, the rest stops are safe, but other people do know about them.
Sure.
And they can be dangerous if those people show up.
Sim, noticing this, is going to take a look back, and whoever's immediately close to him, whether it's Meg or Rufus or whoever, is going to gesture. Hey.
I think that would be Rufus, unless Rufus already went to his room.
Rufus gets up off the kitchen floor and
Okay, if you're still
slides
in the
the
kitchen.
bowl back in the refrigerator.
Where I'm eating. See a bone leading up into that half-rotted flesh. There.
Not very good at seeing, but I can probably smell it.
Okay. Does he smell it?
Rufus is just gonna sniff the air.
For that, you'd have to open a window because you're enclosed within the house.
Can we just
and
crack
yeah,
the
you
door?
don't.
Just crack the door open?
If you want to crack the door, you're welcome to.
Okay. Sim's going to just... No?
Zigzag's
You can crack the door.
Zigzag's out there.
Okay.
Zigzag's out there.
Sim's
I
gonna-
am gonna have you roll a stealth check. The doors are pretty well oiled, but
Yeah. Dex and stealth? Okay.
yep, dex and stealth.
Okay. He's not bad at that.
I didn't think he was. You're probably gonna be fine.
Ah. Alright, I'm gonna spend my first willpower of the night.
Well, you'll get it back in the morning, so.
Okay. 3 successes.
3 successes.
Yep.
The door creaks open. Rufus, you do get a smell. And you smell wet dog, decay, old blood.
Cat food
Like,
gas.
it's... Yeah, no. Something more akin to brimstone, I would imagine.
I know, I'm just...
But you've smelled this before on your flight through the hedge as well, because the smell of the wild hunt is not all over the place, but is apparent when they pass through an area and lingers for a little bit. Because, these dogs are very distinguishable because all changeling know about the wild hunt.
Rufus will just shut the door.
Keep an eye out. If it gets any closer, I'm gonna kill it.
I think it might be worth it to keep a watch. Night rotating. Just to be safe.
Alright. You can go tell everyone else. I'll keep a lookout.
Okay. Sim's gonna leave. Rufus at the cracked door at the moment. Go and find Sim and... I'm sorry, find Zigzag and Meg. I'm searching
Meg
for
is
myself.
And on the way, he found Ruth. Anyways.
Zigzag's sitting on the bed, talking to old Greg.
Meg has bundled up in blankets and is laying down like a caterpillar.
Catarito.
Oh, I threw a rumor on.
Okay, Sim will pop in
All right.
and be like, "Hey, Rufus is keeping an eye on something right now, but I think I saw one of the hounds used
Yeah, no,
by the huntsman.
that makes sense.
They don't seem to have noticed that we're here yet, but they are uncomfortably close. And I just spoke with Rufus, and we're keep an eye on things tonight."
Zigzag, I can go do the thing.
Yeah, just be really careful, okay?
What's the thing?
Yeah, I'll be really careful. He's gonna create a distraction using one of his contracts.
Okay.
Which Zigzag's gonna pick him up.
Here, I'll take you out to the living room so I can let Rufus know what's going on.
He doesn't need that.
Huddle out there.
Nick's gonna take care of it. That way you can get some sleep.
By himself.
He's pretty capable. And he's pretty stealthy, that's the thing.
And he should be able to do it by line of sight, right?
He doesn't necessarily need to do it by line of sight, actually, because it's called mitochondrial communication. So he just needs to locate a mushroom, and he can talk to the entire network of fungus, and he's going to get them to do something for him. He needs 2 more dice for this.
Could send Reggie with him, make sure he's safe.
Well, we'll see if he actually needs to get out of the house.
Ooh.
He might just be able to do it by, staying safe inside, which is preferable, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep. He did it. So he
Let's go, Greg.
He finds a spot by the door ish. He kind of gets down, and you see him get down, and he presses his little knot hands into the wood, and somewhere below this rest stop area, he finds one of those networks, and you see him focus, and in the distance, a decent distance, because mushrooms are creepy as crap, you hear the sound of screaming and calling, like people coming from different locations, calling out to each other. And you see that dog whip around and take off. Yep. I'm over here. Where is here? Right? Coming from different locations.
Yep.
And the dog turns and charges through the forest, charges through the hedge in the direction
Of the voices.
of those. Mm-hmm.
You good?
We're good.
Awesome.
Buddy.
That's very
Yep.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Comes in handy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Times. Yeah. We should all get some sleep.
I'll just watch for a little bit and make sure it doesn't come back.
Okay.
And then try and get some sleep. I can keep watch instead if you want.
I got it.
All right. Much appreciated, Rufus. And Sim will take one last look around and then head to their room.
Zigzag's eyes
All right.
stay
Mhm.
on where the dog left from,
Mm-hmm.
and they look distressed, but they just kind of nod and then go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Old Greg goes with Zigzag. Meg is in her room. She glanced out the window. Considering how well you guys were covering your tracks, she wasn't super worried about it, but she's curled up and with the light on is going to sleep. And I know that Zigzag wanted to have a conversation with old Greg. Do you want to have that conversation now, or do you want to wait till next time? Is this a morning
We can
conversation or a
start
night
it.
conversation?
It might be a morning conversation.
A morning? All right. So, as everyone goes to sleep, whether you fall into an uneasy rest or an easy rest, or whether you stay up later than you intended, watching and seeing if the dog is going to come back, to which it does not come back. You all fall asleep. And that is where we will end tonight's episode. And tomorrow, or next time, sorry,
We're playing again
nighttime
tomorrow?
for the Changeling. No, we're not.
Next week.
My bad. Next week, when the Changeling start up, they will be going through their durances.
Hey,
Whee.
which is why it's going to be a morning conversation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
There's nothing like going home.
There's no place
Right?
like home.
Exactly. Anyways,
We did it. We did it.
Hearts and Make 'em Dance. Thank you very much, everyone, who joined us for this stream, or will watch it later. And wherever
Yeah, thank
time
you.
zone you happen to land, check out our YouTube
the happy
channel, of
time
course.
zone.
And once again,
All that good stuff. Shameless
Welcome to
self-promotion.
Collective.
yeah.
And welcome to the collective.
Okay.
Welcome to the collective.
They will have animated things that pop up when we wave our hands, but not yet.
Magic.
Thank you, Dag Show, for your comments in our stream chat. Much appreciated. And give a shout out to them. Dag Show has some good stuff too. Go pay him a visit. So take care, y'all.
Finger guns for Dag. Anyway,
Finger
bye.
guns for Dag.
Finger guns
There you go.
in the stream.